Hey, what's up, Derek? This is a demo video for you. It's quite a big one. It's for 12 sabers. I've just got 2 of them here. I can't hold all 12. All right, but we're going to go over my desk. I'll show you how each one of these works, how to operate the chassis, box all these up. It's my intention to get these out in the mail to you tomorrow. There's quite a bit of boxing that I need to do. All right, thank you so much for your business. All right, Derek, we've got quite a few sabers to go over. We're going to start with this one right here. This is your Vader Immortal Saber from Jawa's Junkyard. This one, as you know, does not have a switch. So we made this motion control. So to get to the chassis, you want to take off the pommel. Slide this out. I'm trying to put this in a manner where I could show this off to you. But we made this a removable chassis system. All right, kill switch right here. These are all Proffie V3s. So they're all going to have easy access to your SD card and micro USB. They'll just all look a little bit different, but same access. All right, we'll take our battery here. Spring side, always for the negative side of your battery. Flip the kill switch on.
You have failed, master.
Slide this in here. Screw down the pommel. Some sharp edges right here, so be careful with that. All right, we'll screw down the pommel tight. Come over here and twist it on. You got your pixel lit up in there, lighting up your, this is kind of like a blade plug. It's just on there with a magnet, but it comes on and off, as you know. Put this back on there. Turn it off like that. We'll untwist it. Slide our chassis out. And we could turn it off with the kill switch. All right, so we'll take that out. Put that off to the side. Slide that back in there. Close that up. And we'll put this off to the side. Next we have this cross guard. A 2-button setup, but as you know, I swapped out the switches right here for some Tirfon Orbital custom brass ones. So brass on both sides here. All right, and then you get to your chassis. Actually, this one's not removable. It was set up with a removable system. I set it up with a static chassis system. All right, so still a Proffie V3, kill switch in front of the board, 28mm speaker, and I did go through, we'll put this in real quick. I went through and I machined the inside of the handle a little bit so that we could fit that 28mm speaker in there. All right, so we'll flip this on, hit power, right? A lot more sound resonance with the handle on. When you have this handle all the way tight and you've got this Covertech off to the left-hand side and you're looking up, this is the power switch. All right, so again, we'll hit power. Auxiliary on the other side. And off. All right. This one has the stock font package on it because I know that you'll be loading up your own fonts. So we'll turn it on, flip it off with the kill switch, and again, take our battery out from right here. This one, if you choose, you can take off the side blades. They unscrew. I'm not going to do that right now, but you can flip these down or take these off rather. Unscrew these blades if you like. They are on there with some wireless contact pins. So you can unscrew those or screw them back in, whichever you prefer. But that's this guy right here. So we'll put this off to the side. We've got your Phoenix Prop Sentinel right here. This is a saber that you bought from the secondhand market. It's a 2-button system right here. So getting to your chassis, you just want to unscrew the pommel. Take that off, slide your chassis out. This is the one where we did a metal chassis on this. So this is an aluminum chassis sleeve. USB-C, that's how you access the board and charge the saber. So if you're going to access the board, make sure you have a USB-C cable that's both data and power. It has to be a data cable too to get to the board, but there's a copy of the config file on here. Okay, 22mm Smokers Outpost Nano Elite speaker with the SO switch pixel setup. So we'll come over here. There's a kill switch right here. You can just flip it with your finger. You got LEDs on both sides. Slide this in. Come over here and screw the pommel down. Make sure it's down all the way. We'll hit power, which is the front one. Auxiliary is the red one. And you can do a twist off action. All right, so we'll come over here. Take the pommel off here. Slide our chassis out. You can see your LEDs are going until we flip the kill switch and it kills power. All right, so that one's a static battery. You'll need to charge that through the USB-C. All right, we'll put that in there. Close the pommel down. Put that off to the side. Here we've got this one. I did not change the chassis on this. I just I rewired everything. It had a nice chassis in it. It's got this flip open door here with a crystal chamber, but you just had some wrong wire gauges and a few of the wires were actually ripped, so this wasn't working properly. Still a 2-button setup here and here. All right, so opening this up from the handle here, you've got the factory chassis still in it with your kill switch right here, right? You got your LEDs there. Twist off. We'll come over here and put this back on. Hit power. Sounds pretty gnarly with the handle on it. You can see that crystal chamber, and then you've got some blue accents in there. That's very cool as well. And of course you've got light here and here as well as here. All right, auxiliary. We'll turn it off, come back over here and swap it off with the kill switch. So turn on kill switch right here and flip it off. I kept the static battery because this is a flat top battery, not something I typically use, but it was designed, the chassis was designed specifically for that, so I didn't change that out. I left that in there, but you might want to give it a charge. So that's this one. Okay, the next one we have is your dark ray from Corbanth. I still have your middle section in the box. I'm going to keep it here. You can of course attach these both ends of this to make it a staff, but for the install we don't even need this, so I'm going to set it off to the side. I did install these in a manner where you could use them as separate sabers if you wanted to. You open them from right here. You want to open them from the top right here. All right, these are both installed identically, so just be careful when you open those. You've got that Smuggler's Outpost switch pixel PCB set right there. Your chassis is here. It slides right out. There are some openings in the handle itself that I wanted to light up, so I made this venting right here. You've got a 28mm speaker down there. I put this pommel cap on here, but on the other side is an 8-pixel ring, if you can see that. Okay, your Proffie V3 battery compartment again, so spring side. Snaps in there nice and tough. We'll come over here and flip this on.
What's been in your head?
I don't want this!
Search your memory.
So you're going to want to put it in this way. Anyway, you can go in any way as long as this way goes in first. And you can see when it's down there, we light this great section up. That's what that's for. All right, coming over here, screwing this in all the way. When this is nice and tight, it makes contact with those pins. And now you're on a rotary setup. So left is power, right is auxiliary. So again, right or to the left is power, right is auxiliary. Or you could do twist off and you got KR Sabers lit PCBs in there. All right, so we're gonna take the battery out of this one and I'll quickly fire up the other one. We won't explain it as much because it's exactly the same setup, but the kill switch kills the power there. All right, we'll use something flat to get that battery out. Put this back in. Screw this down. Put this off to the side and we'll go over this one. All right. Don't drop that piece, okay? Same setup. Same LED ring. Okay? Nice and tight to engage those pins. We got that shine through right here. Left is power. This is also the sound venting, so that's why we did that. We lit it up and we've got sound venting here as well. Right for auxiliary. All right. Turn it off. Take the chassis out. Slide it back in. All right. Come over here and screw this back in. That is your dark ray. Next we have your curved bane from Corbanth. This is the prototype version. All right, so you come over here and you want to flip this open. It's on magnets, and that reveals the chassis. So this is a brand new chassis that I printed out. Access to your SD card and your micro USB right here. All right, your kill switch right here. Your leaf spring next to the kill switch is the negative side of your battery. Slip that in, flip it.
You were right about one thing, Master. The negotiations were short.
You've got these 4 nubs here to help you align the handle properly and lock it in, right? This is a 2-button setup, right? So you got this as your power. Back over here is your auxiliary switch. So power, auxiliary, hold it down and turn it off, and that's how you operate that guy. This has all the original sound fonts on it that came with the board, and swap them over, okay? We'll pull that out there, put our handle back on. That's your curved bane prototype. Make sure you align that handle properly so it sits in where it's supposed to, okay? Next, we've got your Obi-Wan stunt, all right? Let's go ahead and take this off. That's how you access your chassis. You had asked for no speaker on this one, so we just have motion controls, all right? We'll go ahead and put our battery in. Come over here and throw it in. It goes about right there. It'll sit on the pommel till you lock it all the way in. Come over here and twist it. That's your on feature right there, and then simply twist it again to turn it off. All right, no switches on this one per your request, or speaker rather. Switches or speakers, all right? Take our chassis out here. Take our battery out, and we'll just simply put this back in and screw it down. Put this off to the side. Next, we've got your SP Sabers Anakin stunt. Same deal as the Obi-Wan. All right, so we're going to open this up. This is a static chassis. All right, your spring size right here for the negative part of your battery. So just put your battery in like that. Clip your battery in. Tighten down your handle. Twist it on. All right, and twist it off. Turns it off. All right, we'll come over here and take the battery back out. This was the first of the 2 stunts that I started to do for you, and when I had reached out to you and talked to you a little bit about them, that was when you had requested no speaker in them. So this one did have a capsule for a speaker, but I didn't put one in there per request for you because I was asking you if you wanted me to drill a hole in here for sound, and that's when you told me no sound was required. All right, so that is your Anakin stunt. This is the next saber that we have, which is the Turn. This was designed by Jimmy Saber Junk. All right, so to get to, let's talk about the switches first. I have to reorientate myself with this. 2 switches. Right here in here. It's been a while since I've done this. To get to your chassis, you want to take this ring and unscrew it. And as you unscrew it, you can pull the back end further and further out. All right, so let's go ahead and do that. That gives you your chassis. This is a chassis by Jimmy Saber Junk. So you've got your 2 switches here, an OLED screen, your battery compartment. So we'll go ahead and throw our battery in there.
Good. Twice the pride. Double the...
You got my boot up. Your power right there, right? Auxiliary. And twist off. Now when you put this back into the Saber, you're gonna have to line up these nubs. You got a nub here and a nub here to line up with these 2 cutouts that you can see right here, one on each side. All right, so just carefully put it in. Line up those nubs, and as you do, like you'll feel it click. You can screw this in as you're pushing the back end forward with your palm. All right, you keep doing that until it's nice and tight. Then we can hit power. Auxiliary over here. All right, and then we simply do that again to get our battery back out. Do a little faster this time since we talked about it already. It doesn't take much. All right, coming over here, we'll take our battery out just like that and put this back in. That is how you work the turn. All right, so screwing that all the way back in. Don't have to crank down on this guy, just give it a little bit of snugness. It stays right in place. 28mm speaker back here, all right? The next Saber we have up is the Bucox Garage Star Killer. All right, so we can get to that chassis by unscrewing this pommel here. Leaving the handle tight. You can pull the chassis out because it is removable. This is a chassis that came with the Saber. Again, you bought this secondhand. Let me go get an 18350 real quick. You had bought this secondhand, so I went ahead and I still utilized the chassis. There were just some wire discrepancies in here, some torn wires. I think there was one that was the wrong wire gauge. So I went through and I cleaned everything up. All right, so this takes an 18350. Pop that in there, flip your kill switch. You've got your OLED screen there. All right, you've got your crystal chamber. We're gonna go ahead and put this into the Saber. You wanna twist it until it locks in. You'll feel it kind of like fall in place. It does need to be at a particular orientation in there. All right, so go ahead and screw this down tight. Come over here and hit power.
I'm ready.
That's auxiliary, apologies. So power is in the back. Auxiliary is up here. You got your crystal chamber up here also. And you turn it off like that. And then you would also ask me to take out the resin crystal and put in a real quartz crystal, so you have a real quartz crystal there now. All right, so we'll go ahead and take the battery out. Be mindful the chassis is a little bit tight. When getting chassis parts printed in metals, it's not always the best option to go with aluminum. Whoops. If you go with aluminum, it does have a cool look, but it tends to not hold to the tolerances of the model as well as like brass would. So it's just a little bit tight, no biggie. All right, we'll come over here. We'll take our battery out, put it off to the side. Now remember, if you can see in there, you've got those little nubs on the inside of that cup, right? That's what we're kind of lining up. When we put this in here, you want to press down on this as you're pushing it in. You'll get about right here, and that's what we're kind of like twisting the Saber until those nubs line up and it pushes in that far. That's when you know you're locked in. All right, so come over here, screw this down, and we'll move on to the next one. Next one we've got here is the Shadowfoil Props. Retribution, I believe that this one is, right? It's a 2-button setup. Here and here. So one right here and one over here. Okay, this is a beast of a Saber. All right, so we're gonna loosen these silver pieces right here. All right, You're also going to want to loosen each of these emitters a little bit and then pull them forward. When you do that, this falls out. It's going to take a little bit to get into the inside of that thing, but it's worth it. All right. Come over here. We'll unscrew one of these. You see part of your chassis there. We can unscrew the other one. You see your other part there. It will slide out on you, so be careful. You're going to want to slide it out on the side that has the big switch. Slide it out right here. This is an old chassis design that I did for Corbanth when they did this, when they had this on their website. So it says Solo Sabers here and Corbanth over there. Your two switches here. You got a Proffie on here with a kill switch right here. 28mm speaker right here. All right, we'll flip this on.
I am not your failure, Obi-Wan.
You're gonna want to pay attention to this entire slot for the switches. All right, you brought it out through the side that had the big one on. So we're gonna slide it back in that way until it stops. You can screw both of these on. All right, I'm just gonna screw one on for now, that holds it in, but you hit power. Auxiliary over here, twist off right here, and that's how you operate that guy. It's a bit of a chore to get it back into the Saber. I didn't want to do it 3 times, but we'll do it one more time. That is that Corbanth battery telling me that it's low. It needs to be charged up. All right, so you know you're going to want to charge this up. I believe when you sent this to me, the Saber was on, so it drained the battery in shipping, and then the Saber was on, you know, eventually until I got to installing it, which was it had been a while since it sat here for a while, is what I'm trying to say. So that definitely needs to be charged. Now, to put this back in, we've got both of these emitters pulled out a little bit. We're going to slide this down in here. We're going to bring these like one emitter in, screw it on. Okay. Do the same thing to the other side. A very awkward thing to do on camera, but hopefully you get the idea. All right. And you'll tighten those up. I'm not going to tighten those up for you all the way so that it's easy for you to get out, and it will give you just enough oomph in there to where you'll get used to taking that on and off. But now it's on. All right. And that's how you do that. So we're going to put this back in a box. And we've got your last one right here. This is also an Inquisitor Saber, but I believe this one is from Ultimate Works. I do have the cap off already just for ease of demoing, but it's going to go on there with 2 screws that will be on there before I ship it off to you. All right, and they just line up with those 2 holes with 2 screws in. This is your battery compartment right here. All right, you've got an LED strip right here. You are going to have to remove the panel to get to the board every time because I did put a kill switch right here. So we'll pop your 21700 battery in here, flip the switch, get your LEDs here and here, right? If you look at these switches, there's 2 on each side. One has a dimple and one is flat. So one has a dimple and one is flat. You operate both blades with either set of switches. So if I wanted to hit power over here, I lit up both sides, right? Auxiliary. Or if I want to turn on from here, I also lit up both sides with the auxiliary right here, or the auxiliary here, or we turn it off here. I did that so that you don't have to memorize which side is which. They both operate the same. All right, coming over here and flipping the kill switch off kills the battery like it should. And then we'll come over here with something flat and pop our battery out. All right, I'm just gonna go ahead and leave the battery in there because it comes with the Saber. All right, so again, we'll come over here. We'll take the panel that's got this piece right here. We'll go ahead and put it right here. And we'll lock it in with the 2 screws. Don't lose them. Don't lose these screws. Again, this entire operation is a lot easier to do when you don't have a camera in between you and your saber, but some of these do take a little bit to get in and out of. That's just the nature of the design. Okay, so screw that in all the way like that. We're good to go there. Go ahead and flip it around. We're going to put this panel on real quick. Let me go get the 2 screws out of your box. All right, got them right here. Put that right there. Screw that one all the way down. That will make getting to the other one a little bit easier. And we'll screw that all the way down. And that's how you operate this guy. And with that, that is the last of your sabers. So what did we do? We went 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. We went through all 12 of them. I will get these boxed out and out in the mail to you tomorrow. Thanks, man.